Question number 7, the Honourable Maryan Street.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and asks how many human resources contracts, if any, were let by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade without tenders being invited in 2010-2011, and what criteria were used to assess the non-tendered contracts?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I would first advise that the Chief Executive of the Ministry is responsible for the internal procurement policies and practices of MFAT. The Minister has further advised that in terms of contracts entered for human resources services, including services provided under the Ministry's change agenda, MFAT entered into 21 contracts of over $10,000 in value that were not tendered. The criteria used were the specifications for the role, with applicants being assessed through an interview and referee check process. I'm advised the Ministry has in place extensive procurement policy and guidance for staff and is governed by procurement policy put in place by the previous government. I would also add that the Minister of Foreign Affairs has made it clear to the Ministry that the current level of expenditure on human resources contracts is out of line with the government's expectations.
The Honourable Maryan Street.
Supplementary question. Given that something in the order of $1.2 million was spent on untendered human resources contracts alone in 2010-2011, is this what the Minister meant when he said to the Foreign Affairs Select Committee that, quote, the idea that the only people that can work for the New Zealand Foreign Ministry in a valuable way are full-time staff members who have been there all their lives is frankly outdated nonsense, unquote?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I'm not sure that I can vouch that that's exactly the reason why, but I would point out again that the Ministry is responsible for those decisions, and it is governed by procurement policy and guidance for staff in relation to making those decisions, which was, of course, put in place by the previous government.
The Honourable Maryan Street.
What criteria out of those in the Minister's answer to the primary question did Momentum Consultants satisfy to earn $129,000 without tender?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I don't have information on that specific contract. If the member would like to put that to the Minister in writing, I'm sure he'd be happy to respond.
The Honourable Maryan Street.
Is it, quote, outdated nonsense, unquote, for government ministries to keep to budgets in this time of fiscal constraint, and does that explain MFAT's $2.6 million blowout on contracts and consultants in 2010-2011?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, quite obviously the first part of the question, the answer is no.
Point of order, Mr.
Point of order, the Honourable Maryan Street.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. I seek leave to table Annex 5, Table 2 of the answers to the MFAT supplementary estimates questions on 2010-2011 expenditure on consultants and contractors.
This is information to the Select Committee. I just want to check. They are already available to the public. I seek leave of the House for that document to be tabled. Is there any objection? There's objection. There is objection. Question number 8, Paul Quinn.
Thank